welcome to Saturday Morning Momentum, episode 14. I'm Kat, for anyone who is new to Kat's Novel Adventures, and I'm being joined today by Lee of Dark Roots Creation and Liz. And we are here today to get something done. We have a power hour coming up where we just want to be as productive in whatever area you feel like you need to be productive in. And it may look different for you from what we're up to, and that's okay. It's whatever you need to do. Maybe your power hour is just getting up, getting yourself a cup of coffee, and thinking about what you want to do for the day. That's totally okay. And for anyone who is new here or watching on replay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us know what you got up to if you are watching on replay. The three of us like to hear about that kind of stuff. It kind of motivates us in our own goals and things that we're doing. So how are you doing, ladies? What's going on with you two?
Good. I needed to finish my third workout, so I got up early so I could get that done before I came on here because I was like, I'm crossing that off the list.
Yay! Round of applause for you, Lee. How about you, Liz?
I did. I'm same boat. I took my dog for a walk already. We went to, it's our town-wide yard sale, so we kind of got some peeks of things. I bought some books because I'm pathologically incapable of not buying books, apparently. But yeah, I feel like I've already accomplished a lot this morning, so I can have fun during the power hour.
Yay! Sounds awesome, y'all. Sounds awesome. I have been up since 5:30. My alarm clock on four legs came and got me, even though I was kind of like rousing out of sleep. I had set my alarm for 6 just so I wouldn't be late in the off chance. But I mean, there might come a day when she does not come to get me. So I have to make sure. But 5:30, no, she's there, got up. I already edited my little collab video clip, and I was very excited about that because I wanted to film Thursday and edit Friday, and it ended up being film Friday, edit Saturday, which is fine. Totally okay with that. And as far as planning on Friday, I didn't get very far. Only got that amount on there. But, you know, it is what it is. But I think I pretty much had a good week. I didn't work in my scrapbook room this week, but I feel like I had a good week. I was productive. I didn't have any lazy days. I did have to take care of 2 dogs with tummy troubles, but hopefully it's all passed. And part of it, I don't know what was going on with Luna, but Tootie's problem is Tootie is a scavenger. He likes to snuffleupagus in the grass when he's out in the backyard, and he will eat anything and everything, unfortunately. And if you don't watch him like a hawk, I mean, literally Barry watched him Thursday as he was looking, and every time he would catch him, there was like a dead dried worm. I'm like, what is this, like worm jerking? I'm like, it's so gross, but you know, whatever. Everybody's got their different taste, but he acts like he's never fed. And that's why I say you can take the dog off the street, but you can't take the street out the dog. That's Tootie. He's a street urchin, and I don't think he'll change, even though we've had him almost 15 years.
You guys provide him with good food, but he's just like,
I need to find out if worms, I guess worms do supply protein. Not really sure what maybe there's some other vitamins and minerals in a worm. Not sure once they dried up.
That's how he prefers his dried.
I don't know, but I wouldn't really say it was a stumbling block. It didn't prevent me from doing anything. So that's why I didn't even list that in there. But yeah, I'm starting to get into my groove of since my summer vacation started. I'm starting to get into that groove where I can kind of see a semblance of a routine, and where I'm like very excited about accomplishing stuff. It's like checking off everything off of my list is like so satisfying. I don't know if y'all do this either. I have literally sometimes written in something just so I could scratch it out.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Wake up, take a shower. Yeah, absolutely. Brush my teeth. Yeah.
Brush my teeth.
Oh, so let's see who is here today. Emma is here reporting for duty. Hello. I am doing well. Doing well? Good morning, everyone from Jellicle. Let's do this. Good morning from Tina. Hello, hello. Good morning from Carmen, my Beaumont buddy reader. And then we have highs to Liz and Lee. And good morning, Alexis. Welcome. More highs. I love all our highs. I love our crew. We need to come up with a name for ourselves. We're the Saturday morning momenters, or what would we call ourselves? Good morning. Good morning. I have a scavenger too. Sparkly poop from eating foil is not unusual. Oh my goodness, I can imagine. When I had my old dog Sophie, she was our female German Shepherd, and I remember she wasn't very old. And my son Andrew had a monkey, and the monkey had a cape, and somehow she got a hold of it and she ate the cape. So we had to go out of town, and I told the vet, I'm like, I just want to let you know that if you see some foreign object in Sophie's poop, it is Andrew's monkey's cape. So sure enough,
out it came.
I'm like, thank God it didn't cause like some kind of a blockage and she had to have emergency surgery while we were out of town. I'm like, weird things that they just want to eat. I don't understand it. Good morning, Alicia. And highs all the time. Hello. So, Lee, did you feel like you had a productive week this week?
I got my blood work done. Oh, I don't know if I said it on here, but I said it on
you told me
live show. I told you, but for everybody else, I got my blood work back, and my A1C level is below pre-diabetes, so I'm normal now with that.
That's awesome.
I'm just waiting to hear back from my doctor that I could get off my meds, and I've been harassing her by messaging her every day. So she's probably like, I don't even want to deal with her.
I'm so excited for you, Liz. I don't know if you had watched on replay. Lee wasn't supposed to be here last week because she was going to get the blood work done, and then she didn't have her credentials.
Okay, so with that, when I did show up on Monday, I had everything in my hand. The lady goes, no, it's all here in the system. I go, you don't need your ID? She's like, no. She goes, there's a picture of you in here. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I don't know what happened on Saturday that on Monday everything was there and totally fine. But
that's wild.
Yeah, that is wild. So it was amazing. So glad when Lee DM'd me to let me know everything was fine. I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. How about you, Liz?
I'm sorry, I just did 3 workouts, but I didn't do my Instacart, but I'm planning on doing the Instacart today.
Oh,
yes, because that's one of her summer plans is the Instacart, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about Instacart. What are you doing with Instacart?
So I'm trying to make at least $500 over the summer to put toward credit cards.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to go out like maybe on the weekends or after work if I don't have anything going on and just do a couple orders, try to make the money off of that. Yeah. So we have a store here called Stop and Shop where I'm told if you go, so for Instacart, you usually do the shopping for somebody, but at Stop and Shop, they do the order for you and you just pick it up and bring it to the people. So I'm going to try to hang outside and Stop and Shop and see if that actually works. So.
I love that. Yeah, I have to do home renovations I wasn't anticipating. So I'm like, anything.
Yeah. And I mean, I heard you make pretty good money because you're doing the grocery shopping for somebody as opposed to maybe just a few dollars off of DoorDash, which we've done that too. Me and my husband have done that too. So
yeah,
I figure I could just do that maybe a couple hours on a weekend or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I love
that. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how about you, Liz? Yeah. Did you have a good week?
Yeah. I mean, I did. My goals kind of got shifted midweek. And so I was like all in on estate planning. And so, which isn't the most fun thing, but it also feels like the most adult on my list of things to do. So I'm happy that I'm at least getting the ball rolling. I have to like redo my will, things like that. So there's a lot that goes into it that I was not anticipating. I thought, I'll just go update a few things. No problem. It does not work like that. So I have a lot of decisions and things to do, but once it's done, it'll be done. So
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very important. I have the Book of Life on my list to do this year too, and I haven't done it yet. But I think a lot of the things that I would like to do is I want to wait till after I get back from a scrapbooking event, because that's really my focus, and I want to have a good time, and I want to be productive there.
Yeah.
But I just want to mention to everybody that July 2nd is halfway day, technically the halfway point in the year. Gretchen Rubin made this, day on her calendar of Catalyst. It's, all these different dates or whatever that can kind of like motivate you, provide more happiness or productivity or whatever. So just to let anybody know that I'll probably try to do an update at that point, since I didn't do a quarter update of just what I've done on my list and what I'm, if I have a plan or whatever at that point. So it may be something we can think about too, just, if we want to share any of that. I do have some ideas swirling around in my brain because, I just can't leave well enough alone, which I'm going to contact y'all about and see what y'all think, about it. But anyway, that's
so close.
Yeah,
I'm looking at my big list right now. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, it is. But I will tell you that sometimes it does help you jumpstart at that point. But there are some things that I want to do off my list that needed to wait towards the second half of the year anyway. So it's fine. Like I tell myself, it's fine.
It's fine.
So Alicia says, I do those lists all the time, meaning making them and scratch them off. Esther Jane is here, my other Beaumont buddy reader. And Swank is here telling us all about the special holidays for June the 7th. Happy Junebug Day, happy Chocolate Ice Cream Day, and happy VCR Day. Wow.
Nice.
So more highs. I love all the highs. And congratulations. Congrats to Lee. Yes, I think it's so wonderful. Congrats from a fellow diabetic. I go for blood work next week.
I hope it's very good.
Yeah, Swank says the same thing. Good morning, Chris Wildfire. Lee, my neighbor, does Instacart for Walmart and loves it.
Okay.
More highs. And I didn't know that. I love Gretchen Rubin. Yes. In fact, what I'll do is I'll look up her Catalyst, her calendar of Catalyst, or her Catalyst calendar, whatever she calls it. I'll post it in our Saturday Morning Momentum Discord area.
Oh, nice.
If anybody wants to take a look at it. Like, she does have a day early on. I don't think it's called Disappointment Day. It's something early on when people who make goals for the new year kind of like drop off. It's Determination Day. That's what it is. Determination Day. And it's like early on in the year, people who are like gung-ho, the gyms are all full of people, and, everybody's like, yeah, we're going to be doing all this. And then all of a sudden, a week, 2 weeks go by, and people have forgotten they even made a goal. So, yeah, I think I like those kind of little days. I nerd out about stuff like that. I just, and whether I use it or not, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I think I wrote a blog post one time on Determination Day because I needed a kick in my own pants. So let me hold myself accountable. And Jamie said, it's been a hectic week here since I was driving back and forth to my friend's house to take care of her cat. So I'm going to relax and read during Power Hour. Excellent. And July 2nd is my birthday. Yay! So future birthday on halfway day. And hello, Kaylin. Welcome. And more highs. And Alicia says, I have 43 days until a day out with just hubby and I. We're going to Epic Universe his first time.
I always love her videos about going there. They look so cool.
Yeah, I love Universal, and we have not been in so long. Andrew was in 8th grade, but I gave him a choice when he graduated from 8th grade. We don't do these really big vacations. Our vacations are usually a few days at the beach. Or my husband and I will go stay somewhere, overnight, because we're going to see a concert or something like that. But I told him, I said, Andrew, for your 8th grade graduation, you can pick Disney World or Universal. And secretly, I'm like, please pick Universal. Please pick Universal because of Harry Potter. And, I had never been there when it had the Harry Potter. We had gone years before, like when Barry was little. And I'm like, please, please, please. Well, Andrew loves Harry Potter too. So he picked Universal and I was like, yes. And so we were able to get this really great package and we were able to stay on the grounds. It was the most magical thing. And I saved my money. I did this. It was sort of like some kind of challenge where you saved $1 the first week, then $2 the second week, then the third week was $3. And then by the end of the year, you had like this big, bunch of cash. I did a garage sale. I did as much as I could to pay the package part off. And then I had money set aside, kind of like what you were saying, Lee, when you go on your vacation, you don't want to use your credit cards or anything like that. So I remember doing that. And my husband's always one that's like, now, how much did that cost? How much did that cost kind of thing? My mother-in-law had given Andrew money to spend. And he even said to my husband, he can spend his money any way he wants. And my husband's just wanting to make sure, everything's on the up and up and we're not like spending this extravagant amount of money. But I told him, I said, I don't want to hear one word. I said, because I have worked my butt off all year long to make sure we're going to have fun. And that's not going to be an option. Like we'll eat at Starbucks, and have a coffee and a biscuit or whatever for breakfast one day, but we're going to eat 2 times in one of those fancy little Harry Potter restaurants because it's part of the package. Everything was part of the package. And just staying on the grounds. And I remember we walked in the hotel and Andrew's like, this is the fanciest hotel I've ever been in my life. I was like, enjoy it because probably the last one. But it was so magical and so fun, but it was the way to go. That way you didn't have any stress. You didn't have to sit there and say, can we afford to eat in this restaurant or not? Or does this mean that we can't do something else?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I loved it. And I want to go back now that they have Epic Universe. So I think it would be fun. Anyway, sorry to get on that long old tangent about my life with that. It's all Alicia's fault. Anyway, Alexa said, I actually just finished Secrets of Adulthood by Gretchen Rubin. I really enjoyed it. I have that on my June TBR. And my gosh, I haven't been to Disney like 25 years. And hello to Emma. You go, Kat. And I did the same thing for the kids' Disney trip this year. I've been saving and all will be ready in July. Yeah, I just think it does it makes it so much nicer to do that. I have not been successful since doing that little project money-wise. And I guess it's because I didn't have something so hardcore to save for. Yeah. That's what I'll need to do. But anyway, what are your intentions for Power Hour? Let us know in the chat, in the comments, guys, so we can see what y'all are planning for the Power Hour. And what are you planning, Lee?
I'm planning to set my intentions, planner setup, Notion setup, meal plan, grocery list. Plan.
Okay, good. A planning Power Hour. How about you, Liz? You gonna do something fun?
I am. Well, first I'm going to update Discord because I'm very bad at that. I'm going to get good at that. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to read. And so I have to say, and I got this recommendation from one of Lee's videos, and it's Lasagna Means I Love You. I have a chapter left and it's killing me. I cried so much during this book, and I think it made me fall back in love with middle grade /YA.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you, Lee, for recommending this.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I've already ordered another book by her. Love it. And then I'm turning to Kat's book for the month, Lonesome Dove. This is my copy. It looks so beat up. First time I read this was when I was 14. So this is my copy from 14. And trust and believe that was a long time ago. So I'm excited to do a reread of that.
Yeah, I'm enjoying Lonesome Dove. I am a little bit behind because I am reading it with my eyeballs, and it's dense as far as like description, but I don't know what it is about Westerns, especially those little Gunsmoke Western books that I read. I love cowboy speak. You would think that I was a person that watched Western movies or whatever, but Westerns are new to me, a subgenre that's new to me. I've only been reading them the last couple of years, but the humor
Yeah.
And these conversations these men have are like I have laughed out loud a couple of times because I'm like, it's just this bunch of guys, and you know, it's like you're getting kind of like a fly's outlook or whatever into what guys talk about when they're together. You know what I'm saying? Because guys talk about things with you differently. Like I'm sure you've experienced that. Like they're not going to talk to you about these weird things that they think about, because these cowboys, some of the things they think about, I'm like, whatever. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I really am. But it's been slow going for me.
It
like
can
to make
be a hard book for
really
people to get into.
Yeah.
And I think what it is like it really front loads character building work, and
Yes.
then it goes into the action. And that can be, I think, a little bit challenging. I actually watched the miniseries first because, like, I was 14, and that was what motivated me to read the book. It's like I fell in love with the story, and then I wanted to know more about the characters. So, for anyone struggling, that might be an opportunity to see whether or not you're invested in the story before.
Yeah, that's what a couple of people posted in Discord, that they don't know. They only made it to maybe about 50 pages, and they were about to give up. But with that being said, if you're not more character driven, like if you don't enjoy character driven novels and you're expecting plot like right from the get go, it may not be the book for you. But if you could hold on until they start getting into some of the action, I personally love it because I love characters. I love learning about people and what makes them tick. And I will say, Larry McMurtry does a wonderful job, like Stephen King does, when it comes to a character. You feel like you know that person, you know, like it's a person living and breathing in your community kind of thing. And I like that. I like just being in that mindset. So then when they do things and make decisions, it's like, you know, what's kind of fueling their decisions. They're not just like cardboard characters that you don't care about. You know, like already I've got favorites and ones I care about, and like, what's going to happen? And, you know, already feeling empathy for the dishwater guy, and you know, because Jake Spoon comes to town and apparently he's a body, you know, so it's just funny stuff like that. So I think what's also is the anticipation of being able to watch the miniseries after and enjoying that with my husband, because my husband would never read Lonesome Dove. I don't know if he would even listen to it. You know, sometimes he'll listen to audiobooks, but it's so chunky. I don't know if he would, but he would enjoy watching the miniseries. So I'm looking forward to that experience, you know, as well. But yeah, so I think that's awesome. And the lasagna book, I have that on my like wish list to get, because so many people, and Lee emphasized it in her video, so many people I haven't heard anything negative about it, you know, so it's a book that I need to get to. And Albert is joining us this morning. Please let us know what you're going to be working on. And did you go to the Harry Potter rides? Went on Gringotts? One couldn't do that. The other was too afraid. Oh yeah, I rode everything. The unfortunate thing is my husband could not ride everything, because the first ride we rode at Universal was the Dueling Dragons. They don't even have it there anymore. He got on that ride and it made him dizzy. And instead of him going to get Dramamine, which I thought you had to get that by prescription, you can get it over the counter. And I'm like, I wish I would have known that. Like, he didn't say anything about it. It was like, you could have gotten that. So I felt bad. Initially, I felt bad because he didn't go on a lot of the rides with us. And I'm like, do you want to go see some of the shows? Do you want to do this? So he did some rides, but he didn't do all of the major ones. And he would go with us. He never complained. You know, there were a couple of times he's like, I think I'm just going to go take a nap, or he was the holder of the bags, you know, but I did feel bad. I was like, in the future, you need to say we could get stuff like that. I said, because it makes me feel bad. But at the same time, I'm like, I did not spend all this money to not ride these rides. And I'm going to ride the Hulk 10 times if I have to.
Listen, as the bag holder in my family, we enjoy watching you all have fun. So I'm sure
he did. He loved it. And I mean, we were so silly. Like, we'd ride the Hulk, and we'd be in the middle. And then Andrew and I are like, we're riding in the front next time. So then we'd get in the front and we'd have to experience it that way. And then my niece works at Disney. So she met us and she came and rode with us. And so we rode the Hulk at night in the front. So it was like, just like all these different scenarios. But he got to ride on some of the rides and do stuff. And I kept telling him, I'm like, after we would ride it, I'm like, I think you'd be okay on it. But he was just like, I don't know if I trust you. And I'm afraid of heights. So as long as I can get on a ride as long as the ride is in constant motion. But like, I don't do Ferris wheels. I don't do anything like I pay attention to rides too. If it's something that gets stuck, I will not get on that ride because I think I would literally have a heart attack, cry, whatever, faint. Because I do have that irrational fear of heights. But yeah, I love roller coasters and stuff like that. But I will close my eyes initially, like the first time I do it, just I have to feel it and understand what's going on. And then after that, I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And yes, I'm reading Beaumont and at chapter 8. Excellent. My intentions are power hour, book journal setup, looking up Pinterest for self-care journals, coffee and breakfast pizza. Sounds wonderful. And Liz, I loved that book. So the lasagna book. And maybe Lonesome Dove. I don't have specific plans this morning, but it's just great to be able to make this because usually I'm out of town or busy. Yeah, I mean, you can just hang out and be with us, Kaylin. We appreciate the community time. My intentions are to open and assemble the 4 packages that arrived this week: 2 shelves, a vacuum cleaner, and a mini printer. Excellent. And going to meal prep, do a couple of exercises for Power Hour. Nice. I'll be reading my self-help book. Excellent. I need to read the Gunsmoke book you sent me, Kat. You do. It is so fun. I love those little Gunsmoke Westerns. All Harry Potter rides are great. I have been on all of them except the new one. Yeah, whatever the newest one since we've been there. I haven't, like the one that took the place of the Duel and Dragons. We wouldn't bring that one. But yeah, I can't wait to go back. And Albert, I love your name. Thank you. My intentions for the hour: listen to Voyage of the Damned. What a title. Update reading journal, submit clean your shelf books. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so we are going to go into our power hour. I have our kitty cat ready to go. Well, let me put her up first before I start. I don't want to cheat anybody out of a second. Okay, here we go. We're going to start. Okay, so there we are. Taking a break from reading for the Women's Championship in Tennis, French Open, and Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure replaced Duel and Dragons. Okay, everyone, happy Power Hour. Get your intentions done, and we'll see you back in an hour. Welcome back. How did everybody do?
I did very well. Got a lot done. So, and I also realized at some point I must have pre-planned in my planner the month, so I barely had anything to add in. I was like, oh, that worked out. I was like, thank you, past self, for thinking ahead.
That is amazing. That's awesome. How about you, Liz?
Good. I finished Lasagna Means I Love You. Wonderful, wonderful. I did update on Discord once I figured out what my password was. That was a big thing. I watched Lee's video. Highly recommend it to everybody.
Well, thank you.
And I got about a chapter done of Lonesome Dove, but that's
awesome. That's a lot of progress. That is a lot of progress. You're making me have FOMO about lasagna.
So good, Kat. It's so good.
It might be a good one for like July or August. I already have my June stuff. Now, if I finish everything on my June TBR, which I highly doubt, I could add it. But if not, maybe July. I went ahead and got I don't even know if I said what I was doing, but I had started yesterday, but didn't get very far. So I planned my week. I mean, pretty much I'm going to be in scrapbook organizing mode next week. So I do have a lot of blanks there. Got my appointments on my calendar and very excited about a meeting that I'm having at the Columbia Theater on Wednesday. Ooh. Not sure what it's about. I have no idea. I'm excited, but it might be something I'm interested in, might not be anything I'm interested in. So I don't want to get my expectations up too high because we know then disappointment will happen if it's like, I don't know why y'all picked me to want to do that. But anyway, I'm just excited about it because I love the people at the Columbia Theater, and the fact that Jim reached out, even though he said this is going to be vague, we would like to meet with you. So I don't know what it's about. I have no idea, but I'm excited. I'm excited to just see what the possibility is. So I have that Wednesday. So something may happen as a result of that. So I kind of want to keep things open a little bit too, just in case it's something. I can't imagine it being something I have to do or would start right away, but we'll see what happens with that. But I did see your intentions for the week, Liz. Awesome. I do have mine. And then, we're supposed to be in progress report. Sorry, guys. I didn't even put power hour up there. Y'all gotta help me. Got to be crack that whip. And then I did post Lee's video. I should also, I guess, I put it in goalpost and dreams because it is kind of like something you want to work with. But I guess I could have put it under video recommendations too. So anyway, that's where I posted it, was the goalpost and dreams. So dreamscapes or whatever I called it.
Anyway. See, I'm loving that everybody watched this, because now that's holding me so accountable to it now. So
it is. I was going to say, I think it's a good way to hold yourself accountable. And I loved what you said in your video about it makes you a little bit vulnerable to put yourself out there, to share what you're doing. But I kind of think that does help you stay a little bit accountable to it. And I also kind of feel like if you miss the mark, I mean, because of any array of reasons, I mean, anything can happen in your life, as we know, but it's kind of good when you do update that you can explain what your stumbling blocks are, that you have these goals, but sometimes there are things that are totally out of your control. Say, for example, Instacart's what you wanted to do, and, you do it 2 times and everything's going great. And then Instagram decides, or whoever created this decided, we're changing our policy and we're not going to do that anymore.
Right.
Well, then your plan, you have to go to whatever your plan B is to still try to fulfill your goal that you're doing, but it may mean that you have to take some time off to do that research, to see what your next side hustle is going to be.
True.
Kind of thing. But, and I love it because it also, I think sometimes also when you watch other people's videos and stuff, it gives you permission to want to tackle some things that you have going on. And it's you know what? I mean, Lee's doing it for a season. you know, it's not like she's doing it for the whole entire year. This is for the season because her life is a little bit different, perhaps during the summer. Everybody knows we have a little more daylight, you know, to deal with. So there's some things that you can get done that you might not normally get done during the winter months or the times when, you know, your day seems shorter because you don't have as much daylight. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. I fully intended to do a quarter, you know, my first quarter, you know, what I did, and I didn't do it. You know,
You have the halfway point coming up. You could do that one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That probably will be the case. I hadn't made a video. My little video clip I did was the first video I made since April the 18th. Can you believe that? I mean, over a month. Wow. It just amazes me how the time just goes by, you know, kind of thing. So, and it was funny because yesterday while I was doing the clip, it was like everything aligned. And I'm like, okay, I'm not having any stress this morning with doing this. And I did my last part of it. And I'm like, you know, I wonder if I could do it better. And the guy across the street turned his lawnmower on.
He knew.
And I said, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is what I hate about making videos is you know, all my dogs were calm. Everybody was sleeping. My son was at work. Everything was just, it seemed just nice and calm. You know what I'm saying? And then he turned the lawnmower on. I'm like, nope, it is what it is. Just go with it. I have to just tell myself it's okay. It's okay. I'm too critical. That's the problem for myself. And I just have to build a bridge and get over it. So how's everybody else doing in our chat? Did everybody else get what they're supposed to get done or wanted to get done? I shouldn't say what you should have gotten done. Okay, so Alicia was telling us the newest ride at Epic Universe is Harry Potter and the Battle of Ministry. My friend Andy popped in. He is doing 12-hour sprints. I think he does it the first Saturday of every month. And Andy is a very productivity focused. So he will set the timer for 55 minutes and he talks for 5 minutes to see what everybody's up to. And then he sets that timer. So if anybody's looking for some productivity sprints just to be held accountable, or you know, and even if you just want to show them some love, I know I posted this in here. Hello.
Does he do it on a particular day?
Every Saturday. Saturday, the first Saturday of the month.
Okay.
He was also, here it is. I should have started. Anyway, this is Andy's link. He is a writer. He's written some nonfiction books, but he's also working on his first thriller. And he's kind of in that editing phase. So like think Jason Bourne kind of thriller. But Andy and Emma and I have done some collabs together, just hanging out on, you know, streams together and stuff. Emma's also a writer. But if anybody's looking for that, just to have somebody in the background, kind of like, I don't know, sometimes it helps me because then I feel like I feel like I have company, you know? True. Yeah. But if anybody's looking, I wanted to pop that in there. So of course now I lost myself. So that was Andy popping in to say hello. Alicia said good morning. She's stuck at work, but I did get to watch the birth of a baby deer. I told her I think that's awesome. I would have cried. I am so tenderhearted when it comes to animals, especially wildlife, anything vulnerable in the wild. I just get so it just so tenderhearted. I've always wanted to be like a wildlife rehabber, but I just know that I don't have it within me to do it full time. Like I'd have to help somebody kind of do it because I just know how my life is. It's like I don't want to commit to something if I'm going to not do 100% kind of thing. But so I just love anything to do with that. I love our wildlife rehabber in Ponchatoula. She's amazing. She's about to release her bobcats that she's had. You know, I mean, a lot of times she's taken in injured wildlife, so she's rehabbing them to get to a point that she can release them, and she does a fantastic job. But she amazes me because a lot of people in Louisiana, when you look at what they are licensed to rehab, it's usually like possums. Some do raccoons, mostly it's squirrels, you know, but she has had everything from a coyote to bobcats to beavers. Wow. She has beavers right now, possums, baby skunks. She helped me with my bunnies, my little bunny problem that I have. Just it's amazing to me, all that foxes, beautiful little foxes, squirrels. And we have to give rehabbers love because at least in the state of Louisiana, they get no funding from the state. None at all. Everything that she does for these animals comes out of either her own pocket or the generosity of donors. And she just recently, within, I guess, maybe the last 6 months, at least it feels like that, she got her 504.
Oh, good.
So like if you do make a donation to her, you can get a tax credit or whatever it is, a tax write-off. But yeah, she's very transparent. She goes to the vet. She shows you the bill and everything that she's, you know, doing, and she's got a wish list. It's amazing. It's amazing how she's done this. My intentions for Power Hours to get more power through the power of tea. Andy, and do a bit of reading and some editing and more tea drinking. Yeah, Andy's so funny. Good morning, Travis. Woke up like legit, just opened my eyes, had to run in here to make sure I catch y'all. That was at 8:59 a.m. I'm taking it very easy this weekend. I did all my homework so I can relax. Yeah, I gave him a gold star because he really powered through so that he could have a relaxing evening. I think that's wonderful. Nice. He needs to rest his brain. Yeah, because he had like a 5-page paper or something. I think that's what he said he had. I want to eventually get up and make coffee, and I want to go to the game store later. And I think this is huge for Travis because Travis hasn't been in school for a while. And the fact that he's working full time, he's, you know, tackling school, he's going to school for something totally different than his background. And he's really passionate about what he wants to do.
Didn't he just come up with an idea for a book that he's like jumping into now?
Yes. Yeah. Travis, I think, is kind of like me in the sense that like, he just can't be satisfied with just like living life. I don't know if he's a multi-potentialite, but I'm a mixed multi-potentialite. I can get bored easily once I feel like I've kind of mastered whatever it is I want to get out of something, and I'm ready to move on to the next thing. I just have a lot of interest, and I want to, if there was a way I could marry everything together succinctly, that would be like the Holy Grail of my life. I'd be like, it's alive. I've got it all together. But I have not figured it out yet. I even read a book about it because the person that termed multi-potentialite is Emily Wapnick, I think is her last name. And she did a TED Talk and everything about it. And there's different ways you can be like approach multi-potentialite life. But I'm greedy and want to do it all at the same time. And highs. And then my goals for the day are to read more of Desperation. I'm 379 out of 679 pages through. Other than that, not setting any goals and just going with the flow today. Sometimes that's what you need to do. Yeah, I love that. Desperation, for those of you that don't know, is a Stephen King novel. Okay. Also started a new system where I watched an episode of Franklin every morning. It was my favorite show as a kid, and it just gets a good warm mood for the day. That is amazing. Honestly, I love that. I really do. I got up, hey Molly, and had some breakfast. I'm now trying to decide if I have enough energy to drive or if I should take today as a housework day instead. Well, you can always flip a coin. You could ask yourself what would make you feel like it's the bigger life today. You know, gauge your mood, I guess. Gauge your mood. I don't like to drive myself personally. I would, if I was wealthy, that would be one of the first things I would do. I would get a chauffeur, because do you realize what you could get accomplished in the car? Like, I mean, I talk to my husband when we drive in the car together, but sometimes I'm doing other things, like I'm reading or,
I definitely need that for my get rid of my road rage. If I could have somebody else drive me around.
Yes. Lee, I have yet to see a video where Lee does road rage, but
I've limited them.
I can only imagine, because Lee is so, like, I consider myself pretty matter of fact, but Lee tops me with the matter of fact department. But I
have a bunch of clips. I just haven't put them together yet, but they're bad.
Yeah, I haven't got to see it. I just think it's probably so hilarious. Matt's here. I'm at my friend's house going to the art museum today. Fun. Want to pop in and let you know that you're amazing. Yay. And I hope you're doing well. Well, we appreciate that. We'll take being called amazing. And highs. Great time at the art museum. Yes. I'm going to have to try to send some people over to you, Andy. I mean, I'll be back because I have things I have to get done. So I won't feel alone. And hey, Stormy, hope you're having a productive morning. I feel pretty productive. I did also, just check Discord, but I wanted to say I did check Gretchen Rubin's calendar of Catalyst. She has it, but she has it like in this big, huge document, and I'll post it eventually if people want it, but it's where you can write stuff in if you want to. So I made, once I'm finished with my scrapbook stuff, I think I'm going to make a more condensed PDF for y'all. And then I'll post all of the resources that she has if anybody's interested. But if anybody, I like alliteration and naming things and stuff like that. It's wordplay. It's all that stuff. I think it's fun. And good call to Travis. Cartoons are a good motivation for me too. Tina made progress with meal prep. Also did 100 squats and 100 abs. Oh my gosh, Tina. All I have to say is you must be in amazing shape. I wouldn't be able to do either one at this point. And then whatever I got up to the next day, I would be in like so much pain from using muscles I haven't used in like ages. Oh my gosh. I got coffee and breakfast. I have not gotten beyond that. Pulling out the book journal materials and now slow moving this morning. Yeah, it could be a slow moving Saturday. And I got the vac assembled and tried it out, opened the shelves, but I need to get different hangers for them. I opened the printer box, but I'm debating sending it back. I want to ask Jellicle, don't roll your eyes when I ask you this, but what's going on with the dollhouse? Where are you at with that? I fed the cats and read 24 pages of Blackwood's Blue Sky and sorted the laundry. That was productive. I did also have to get up because my watch told me I was sitting too long. Travis, have a great day. All of you have a great day. Same to you, Matt. Getting caught up on the Beaumont read. Can't stop me now. JP Beaumont, that's all I'm going to say. I love when his feathers get ruffled. He gets all Chris Wildfire was tidying up a bit and made a June TBR for Bookslandia's spreadsheet for her Sell Your Soul readathon. Woo! Found a lot of great possibilities. It's an interesting title for a readathon. Swank got 86% in her book. It was a great section and gave me tools to better my life. Nice. I may work on my book as well, but just going to see what the day brings. And that happened to me once, banging, I don't know, from my neighbor. So I just filmed and edited a voiceover. I do it like that now. I'm behind on my BookTube channel too. I've just not been very motivated for myself. I think it's because I need to get other stuff done. Have decided to stay home. I'm going to do a little relaxing stuff, then aim to get the dishwasher filled and running. Nice. I love my time at the Wildlife Refuge volunteering so many different animals. Yeah. At one time, one of my jobs that I wanted to be was a vet. I really did, but I would have wanted to be a vet like for exotic animals. That would have been. But then I realized I would have had to take a lot of math and chemistry. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to put myself through that trauma and fail out of school. I'm not a rehabber per se, but I am a registered snake relocation specialist for my city and 4 other cities are me. It's a big list of us, so I don't always get called, but I love doing it. I think that's amazing. That is so much fun. I would think that would be fun. Y'all know I have ice cream bar. I love ice cream bar, although he's been a silly boy lately. I did 2 5-page papers this week. I have ADHD, but I also love having projects. I want to do as much as I can interest-wise before I die. I want to be a vampire who doesn't have to sleep. Don't we all? And you are my spirit twin. I don't do heights. I get bored easily and just so many similarities. Well, we might be kindred spirits. I sub to Andy. Yay. Woot woot. Andy says thank you. Yay. I love that. Thank you for supporting my friend. Oh, Andy. Just gave my cat an impromptu haircut. My oldest is 13 and gets matted fur. Yeah, that's one reason we shaved, had Bailey groomed and shaved because she had a lot of matted fur in her pantaloons. Good morning, Courtney. Matted fur is quite unpleasant. It is. Good morning to Courtney. I want to be a vet too, but chemistry and algebra broke me, so I became an actress. That's amazing. I'm an actress too. I love everything. Okay, well, we're at the end. So now this means we need to know what are our intentions for the week. So Liz, you already posted yours. So will you share what yours are?
Let's see. So the first is I wanted to be really mindful this year about spending time, like actual physical face-to-face time with people that I love the most. So I'm organizing a sushi thing with my cousins. So that's priority number 1. Number 2, what did I put? Oh, I have to get my paperwork together for my July meeting. And then 3 is I have a room where I've just been putting stuff that I know I want to get rid of, and I have to get it on Facebook Marketplace. Mm-hmm. The potential barrier is I don't have a Facebook account, so I've got to do that or figure out that. And then I think my 4th one is going to be I'm going to take a page from Lee and do like a summer goals list because I'm finding the summer already is just spinning out of control. So maybe this will help me be a little bit more mindful.
What I also like that Lee does is Lee makes these little cute like bingo boards for herself.
You know I'm going to do a bingo board.
Yes. And I love that. I just think, when you put that effort into it, it kind of like makes you excited and you want to do it. It's sort of like the bingo board aspect of what we did. Yeah. Which I love that. My intentions for this week, the big kahuna is the scrapbook room, but it's not even, I have to really start, I got to get everything cleared and I have to start putting my layouts, what I want to do in case I have an opportunity to order any pictures or anything like that. I've got to get on that because I have this week and that's it. If I don't get it done this week, I will just be visiting at the event.
When you go to your event, do you bring all your stuff with you? Like
yes,
you pack
everything up. You pack everything up.
Cool.
I tried very hard. One time I was very, very successful. A group of us, like I had this book where you could sketch out your layouts and everything. It told you how many number of pictures, like say you had 5 pictures, it would help you like give you ideas of a layout and stuff. That year was my most productive year because I spent some time just kind of looking at everything, how many pictures I had, pulled my papers, went to Hobby Lobby, got whatever I needed, everything. And so I'd make a kit. And so my kit, I just could pull my kit. Okay, I'm working on, Barry's birthday party and I would do it. Or I'm working on a school dance and I would work it out. That was my most productive. And that's what I would ultimately like to do instead of just being willy-nilly and getting a bunch of pictures printed and then sitting there waiting for creative inspiration, kind of thing. I also will walk the floor and go look at what other people are doing just to look at ideas for like color combinations and different things. And the scrapbook event really has exploded as far as it's always been paper crafting is what I should say. I had a friend that would attend and she would do all of her cards for the year. So greeting cards for people. But the year I didn't go last year, but the year before, that's when the first time I ever heard of diamond painting, that they had people literally there and that's what they were doing. They weren't doing any paper crafting. And I saw Kelsey this week. I took her to dinner on Tuesday evening and she was showing me her book journal. And I said, Kelsey, your book journal reminds me of a scrapbook, but just oriented to it. And that's probably what my book journal would look more like. And she goes, yeah. And Kelsey used to scrapbook. I said, so I told her, I see the influence of the scrapbooking in your journal. And so we were talking about it, and she goes, and I didn't even think about this of even seeing if she would have been interested in coming, because I'm going to be in my room solo. And I was like, she could have roomed with me and she could have worked on all of that, or diamond painting or anything. So I have to remember for next year to see if she wants to do that, and come with us to do it. Cause she lives close. I mean, she actually lives closer to the venue than I do. But anyway, so that I have to not only just clear out the clutter part of it, but I have to start getting what kind of ideas, what do I want to work on kind of stuff. So I need to be inspired by that. But also I need to order my running shoes, and I need to send off that video clip for the collab, that I did. So those are my 3 intentions for this week. And we'll see what else transpires. Andy was telling Swank, I think you now get to be many different characters, maybe a vet in the future. I love that. And Pantaloons is such a fun name. It is. And I love my dog's Pantaloons. Tootie doesn't really have them, but Luna does. And so does Bailey when hers grow back. The other word that I think is fun is hackles. Like when your dog gets their hackles up. It's so funny because my husband had never heard of that. And when I told him, I said, yeah, Luna was out there. She has some really large hackles, whatever, when she gets her hackles up. And he's like, what the heck is that? He's like, have you ever heard that term when somebody gets mad and frustrated or aggravated? It's like, don't get your hackles up or whatever. And he's like, I have never heard of that word. So I taught him a word. And hey to Courtney, and please ask me about the dollhouse every single time. No progress to report because ADHD. Do you think there's also a little bit of procrastination, Jellicle? Just a tiny bit maybe? Because your project is huge.
Yeah.
And I believe she didn't have directions for the roof.
True.
We need to get all the actors in the group on live and do improv. I agree. And oh my God, I cannot plan for the week. This is too much. Please don't force me to think about the next 7 days. I love it. Well, I have blanks. Andy, look, I have blanks. Do you see the blanks? I have little notes and stuff. So I leave it blank just in case something comes up. I can't plan the whole like that strategically. And sounds good to Travis. My intentions for this week, keep the kids busy. We will decide our theme for the week ahead. I want to finish my cross-stitch project and make progress on my diamond painting and get ahead in YouTube. Excellent. Yeah, Alicia has a goal to be at 500 subscribers by the end of June, if possible. That's one of her goals. So it's a lofty one, but it's not impossible. And this week, I plan to continue my to-do list. My intention is to be social, work out, and not get sick. Oh, very nice intentions. Since Joann's are now closed, I have to find a new place to buy sewing supplies this week. I have to find Roman shades for my grandson's new bedroom. Then I plan to purge some craft supplies.
Nice.
Awesome. Hello, I set my alarm and got sidetracked, and this is why I need this weekly motivation. My brain is scattered to the max. I hope everyone is well today. Well, I'm sending you a big hug and some positive vibes, and hopefully you'll clear the cobwebs in your brain and get yourself up and moving. You are a creative. And I'm too OCD to physically do a physical scrapbook, but I do my reading journal on GoodNotes. Allows me to change things easily and have infinite stickers and whatnot. Well, it's funny you say that. Whenever I'm outlining what I want to do for a video, because I've got to have my notes I have to have notes. Like I have to know what I'm going to say. Otherwise, I will be not talking about anything that the video is about. I'll be on a tangent about whatever, as y'all can tell from today. So I always put them on this scraps pieces of paper and I rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just type it? That's me, yes. Whatever day I was doing these notes, I'm like, it would be so much easier for you to like delete, retype, instead of me rewriting the same thing 10 times. I'm like, I love when I have an epiphany, but it's so late.
So late.
I'm like, what is wrong with me? Jamie Wright, where is there to get fabric and supplies now with Hancock's and Joann's gone? Do you have a Hobby Lobby? Because Hobby Lobby has fabric and a lot of supplies. I mean, I'm fortunate to have one in Hammond, which is wonderful. But they, I've gotten a bunch of crafty stuff. That's where I get my scrapbook stuff. Oh, and we do now have a Michaels. But I think I prefer Hobby Lobby over Michaels.
You should try thrift stores too. Every time I go in, I'm seeing a ton of fabric, and it's cool vintage fabric.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool idea. I didn't even think about that. My brain today. Okay. I'm sorry.
I said just check too if you have like independent stores, because we have one here called the Fabric Warehouse. That's just a single one-off place that has a ton of stuff in it.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool. My brain today. Okay, let's work on Dollhouse, but first let's reorganize the pantry. I even got stuff to help with that. Oh, but hey, Riverfest is this weekend, and oh, I need to go to Home Depot.
I can relate.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Exactly, to Swank. It's such a bummer. Yeah, I was shocked about Joann's closing because they've been around for a long, long time. And yes, ADHD procrastination is a thing, and the Dollhouse feels overwhelming. Yeah, that's how my scrapbook room felt initially. So I decided to start in like one little section, you know, and then it, like I said, I now have a path that I can physically walk, you know, that I'm just like, woo! Blanks are the best on calendars. Always helps me be a procrastinator. You're so funny. Yum just made some butter toast with ricotta cheese. And yes, I'm currently at 381 of 500.
Awesome.
Excellento. And hey to Trav from Kaylin. And my intentions are just to keep moving forward. Meet the Robinsons. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And hoping that I get this other job at my work. Yes, Travis also interviewed for another position within his job, his company. Yes, of Michaels. We have a Michaels. It's a craft store, but they tend to be, I think, a little bit pricier. So sometimes it's good if you can catch their sales. I wish I knew how to make clothes because I would totally do that, but I knew nothing about sewing. Yeah, I don't either. I wish I would have been better about being receptive to learning to sew. My mom sewed, and we did a project together, and I was so frustrated. I crumpled up my pattern and threw it on the floor. And my mom picked it up off the floor and sat there and spread it all out like a good mom and got me less frustrated. And I made a jumper. But I don't think it was for me. It's just tedious.
Yeah.
Don't do Hobby Lobby since they stopped carrying its Halloween stuff. Yeah. Well, I like their fall stuff. They have a lot of fun fall stuff. If possible, not getting political, but at least for June Pride, try not to go to Hobby Lobby. They don't like our kind. Sorry to hear that. I don't do Hobby Lobby. I've heard Michaels is going to be adding fabrics, and they have purchased some of the Joann's private brands. And good luck getting the job, Travis. And exactly, I never shop at Hobby Lobby. Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't mean to strike a nerve. And just remember, Walmart has small fabric section. Yes, that is true. Walmart does have fabric as well. I've gotten fabric from them too. I forgot about that. And True Travis, they're too religious. Okay, so anyway.
Wait, Lee, did you give yours?
Oh,
did I not? I skipped you, Lee. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I think we got rearranged on the grid.
Okay. Sorry, Lee. I'm so
that's
sorry.
okay. Prioritize sleep because I've been going to bed at 1 a.m. instead of 10, 11 p.m.
Give yourself a bedtime.
At 11 p.m. is in bed, not on my phone. 11 p.m.
Yes, I relate to that.
Not on the phone is the most important part because that can add the 2 hours on.
Yeah.
Right.
Working on my Conqueror challenge for the Grand Canyon, I need to do 2.2 miles a day. And 3 times I want to hold a 10-second plank.
Yay. Yay.
Planks are the worst.
They are.
Yeah, and yours is to hold it for, what was
30 seconds.
30 seconds. That's
total. So I'm working up to that.
Yeah, I'm pitiful with planks.
Me too.
Yes.
Pitiful. And I don't even know if I could do a true plank. Like, I don't think I'm like in the plank form. I think I'm kind of like crunched over.
That's the hardest part. And I feel like that almost messes you up a little bit more if you're not in the right position, even though the right position is very hard to hold.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think I would have to have somebody watching me to make sure that I'm not creeping up, while I'm doing it. That would be my thing. So yeah, sorry about that, Lee. So let's see. M says, I've been doing the mom thing, working on indie promo post all morning up in Adam, but I'm sad I missed the fun here. Well, you can always come back on next week and be with us, and also jump in Discord and, give us some tips and of anything that you have that you can help us get better at what we're doing. And thanks, it's still environmental science position, but with scrap tire team instead of landfill that I currently work in. It stinks, literally. And then let's see. Yeah, that was not my intention. Normally I go in a circle, but because Liz had posted hers, that was my thing. Even if I was religious and US, I wouldn't use Hobby Lobby. They have bad archaeology stuff. Yeah, bad archaeology.
Where are you at, Molly? Not that you have to be in the US, like just wondering where you're at.
Yeah. On Franklin, he was doing numbers and he couldn't think of the number 8. And his teacher, Mr. Owl, came up to the board and drew an 8 for him and turned the 8 into an owl for Franklin to remember. Oh, that's sweet. Very sweet. Molly is in Ireland.
Oh, very nice.
That's awesome. Okay, so Lee, what plans do you have for today before, like when we hop off? Anything you have special to do today? I know last week you went bike riding.
Yeah, today it's raining, but there's a strawberry festival that's going on a farm down the road. So I want to go there. It's going to depend on how much it rained because this is day 1 hair and I don't want to have to redo it again tomorrow. So that's very dependent on my hair.
Okay, awesome. And Liz, are you going to go back and check out the garage sale?
Well, it started to rain, which I feel horrible for the people I know. They did all that work setting up. So I think what I'm going to do instead is read. And if it clears up, I might go back to the big book sale.
Oh, cool. That'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be fun. I am planning to work in my scrapbook room for a little bit and then attend Kelsey's planning meeting for Halloween-a-thon. That's at 2 p.m. That's anybody that's on her Patreon. She is doing a planning meeting. And
her Patreon is great, by the way.
Yes, it is great. She does a lot of stuff. In fact, she's going to be sprinting for her patrons from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, we're going to do the planning meeting for Halloween-a-thon. So I'm going to be part of that event as well. And then after, I think just hanging out with my hubby later this evening. And then tomorrow I have that live stream. But I'm trying to have like a calm kind of weekend this weekend and next weekend.
Nice.
So that is all we have for today. I appreciate you ladies for being here with me and hanging out and helping me stay accountable. And I appreciate I don't want to eat you, but I appreciate everyone who is in the chat, who, shared with us what y'all were up to during the time. Let us know what your intentions are in the Discord. And I appreciate everyone who is watching. So until next week, I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a wonderful week ahead. See y'all soon. Bye.